everyone, I'm Jay. Today I want to show you what I have found on my shelf. I have a stash of pure 100% olive oil Castile soap of various age. Well, most of these are off-cut and soap ends that didn't make it to be, and so I don't list them, so these are for personal use. So what I have here, this one was made in November 2013, so that makes the oldest of the lot. This one is July 2014, September 14, November 14, and this one was made in December last year, and this one was made last night. All the olive oil soap, the Castile I make, are made with 100% virgin, extra virgin olive oil. Well, I try to use cheaper oil, but the price actually for the cheaper oil, the price is not that much difference, probably 10 rands difference, which is about $1. So I just thought, well, what the heck, I will use olive oil or extra virgin. And then I can be sure of the quality that is not adulterated and all that. So here, what I will do is I'm going to show you the hardness. Okay, so this is the youngest soap, and this is my trusted silver chopstick. As you can see, it makes an indentation. Well, the soap is actually quite firm. It doesn't squash in my hand, so it's not a soft soap. I processed it last night in the oven for about 3 hours, and then I let it cool in the oven overnight. And so it's firm enough to unmold the next day, and I cut it with no problem. The edges are nice and straight. So without further delay, I will show you the lather. As you know, this is a young soap, only a day old, so I don't have high hope. Okay, you can see the glycerin coming out, the typical olive oil snot. Okay, so it doesn't have much of a lather. Let me add a little bit of water, and then I'll work it in my hand, and I'll show you what the actual lather looks like. Okay, small bubbles are forming. And oh, I forgot to say, I have already zapped the soap, and it does. And I have tasted the soap. It doesn't zap, so that's why I'm feeling that it's safe to use on my hand. Okay, so this is a lather of the less than a day. I made it last night at 5 o'clock, sit in the oven for 3 hours, so it's half a day old. So that's my 1 day old young Castile soap, and this soap is super fatted at 15%. The next soap here is the one that I made at the end of last year. This one is slightly less super fatted. It's only 5%, and I use it for all-purpose general. I grate it down for laundry and use it as household detergent to mop the floor and all that. And it doesn't. It's quite firm. Okay, a tiny little indentation, but I press really hard. And And initially, after adding water, it also feels very very smooth and lotion-like, and has that typical Castile snot. So this one is how many? 3 weeks old, which is pretty hard. And as you can see, the color is turning much whiter. I think within 6 weeks it should turn to a snow white. So this is a lather of the 5% Castile. It feels pretty nice. Small, creamy lather, and very gentle and smooth on the skin. And next soap, let me dry my hand because next soap, it's my November 14 soap. Let me take the seal off. This is a piece of sewed end that got cut skew, so I just stick it together. Oh, I forgot to show you the hardness. Again, it is quite hard, but with my super sharp chopsticks, it still made a little indentation. That is November, so that makes it almost 3 months. Actually, more than 3 months. We are almost end of January now, so okay, as you can see, it's less slimy. And this is also 15% super fat. And so here is the almost 4 months old soap. Again, the bubbles are small, but feel so soft and gentle on the skin. I love it. And typically, I sell my Castile after 3 months. I list them online. So to make sure, basically, I take the color as the gauge, also the hardness. I don't test lather for every single batch anymore. I used to. And this one was from September. Now this is quite a special soap. I hand carried in my handbag all the way from Spain, where I spent my summer holiday with my family. We have a holiday home there with no water and electricity. So I decided while on holiday I wanted to make a batch of soap using the local Spanish oil in Andalusia. And also my husband collected a bucket of rainwater, and it's hard. Just a little mark there. Let me press again. I'll use 2. Okay, so you can see barely just a little mark from my chopsticks, and I press quite hard. So this is September, makes it almost 4 months, over 4 months. The reign of Castile. So that's my Spanish Castile soap. With Spanish oil. All the other Castile I made are made with local South African oil. In Cape Town we have lots of olive grove, and so we're quite lucky to get local, really good quality olive oil. As you can see, it lathers immediately, not snotty and not slimy. So this one from July and from September. Again, 15% super fat. This one is from July 2014, and I made it probably a few days before I went on holiday. So, and you can see it's super white. Just barely little dents, but not as deep as the other ones. Then you wet it. Not as slimy either. As you can see, it's a beautiful white. So I work a little bit of lather and add more water. Immediately the bubbles froth and foam. This one is over 6 months old, and you can see the difference it makes in terms of lather. It feels very gentle and smooth and creamy like all my other soap. I think even the 1 day old, it still feels quite nice. I put litmus paper on it earlier. It is an 8. So this is my 6-month-old Castile. And I was clearing my workshop a few days ago after the new year, and I found something that I haven't noticed in my drawer, and here is one that I made towards the end of last year and 2 years ago, November 2013. That makes this soap 14 months old. Very white and hard. If I can show you, it doesn't dent. Hardly any dent. And it's well cured, of course. Being in Cape Town, we are quite dry. And so let's see how it lathers. You can see it doesn't have that much slime. When I'm initially working, it's already a tiny foam. Not slimy. More water. Okay, so here are the differences. What I think it's from probably about 5 months on, difference is actually very noticeable. Probably the lather is already stable and not snotty. I would say the biggest difference that I notice is actually the hardness and whiteness from 4 months on. And the very young soap also gets softer very quickly just by wetting it for the last 5 minutes. It's already have a thick layer of slime on the outside. So as with all handmade soap, we don't want the soap to sit in water, so I'm going to let it sit there and dry. And then this is a slime I'm talking about. A little bit snotty, but still perfectly good to use. But the softness improves as well as the lather, as you can see. Less slimy lather and frothed quicker. I hope that is helpful for you, and if you want to start making your own Castile soap. Have a good day. Bye.